This is the plaintiff, Stacey Otis Kelly. He says he used to work with famous rappers, and he entered into a contract with the defendant and her son to represent and manage his music career. He says he worked 552 hours on the rapper's album, is owed $10,000 and hasn't been paid, and is suing here and now for the money he most definitely deserves. This is the defendant, Candace DeVore Mitchell. She says Joshua, her son, is a rapper who's been number 37 on the hip-hop charts for 5 months, and she and her son signed a piece of paper promising 8% of their profits to him as payment for his services. The album turned out great, and the plaintiff did an amazing job. Problem is, there've been no profits and no payments from the music company. She's desperate to get paid as well, and when and if there are any profits, the plaintiff will get paid too. But he's gonna just have to wait like everyone else. She's accused of cutting a music manager out of the deal. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $10,000 for jewelry and a laptop.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Stacey Otis Kelly.
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing Joshua Mitchell, Candace Mitchell, and Black Cash Records. You are the CEO of Black Cash Records, and you are Candace Mitchell?
Yes, ma'am.
And you'll be representing everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Suing them for $10,000. You say you're actually out $174,000. And you're suing them for work that you did on a record. They still call them records? Yeah. On an album that, according to you, you have not received any of the profits of. Now, you have an agreement with who? With Candace or
Candace.
with the rapper who's Joshua Mitchell?
Yes, me, Candace, and Joshua entered into a signed...
Is Joshua a minor?
Yes, ma'am.
How old is he?
He's 16.
16, all right.
We entered into a management contract for me to manage his career until he turned 18.
Okay, and how did that come about that how did you folks connect?
When I retired from the music industry before, I moved to Lancaster as a single father. I opened up my own handyman service there, and I was hired to do a job, and
okay,
so,
and then how were you involved? You said when I retired from the music industry. How were you involved in the music industry?
I worked directly for my nephew, Roscoe.
Forgive my ignorance. Is Roscoe, who is Roscoe? What?
Roscoe is a member of the Dog Pound. That is Corrupt's little brother.
Okay. So you end up speaking with her, and somehow the topic of her son comes up?
Yeah, you know, when you walk into someone's house and you notice photographs, I noticed a photograph of Joshua and Corrupt, and I noticed I'd never...
And who's Corrupt again? I'm sorry.
That's Roscoe's brother.
Okay.
I noticed a picture. I said, oh, you know, my nephew, you know, and he's like, we struck up a conversation. He was into the music. Then I noticed he showed me pictures of Candace, Bobby Brown, the Brown family. We just started striking up conversation in general about music.
So during the time he's doing the handyman work, you find out that he's related to
A superstar hip-hop artist, Corrupt of the Dog Pound. And my son had been working with Corrupt, and I wanted him to have more celebrities on his album. And I personally asked Mr. Kelly to please help my son. Mr. Kelly was working with Suge Knight at Death Row Records, and I learned about his history. And I asked him to help take my son, who already had plenty of fans from Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston fans following him. I needed more fans, and I asked him to help with the project. I did. I admit that.
Okay, so when did you guys sign something? How long after
September
that?
7th, 2017.
How long after the work that you did in her house was that? A day, a month, a week?
Probably like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Do you have the document that the two of you signed?
Yeah.
Can you hand it to my bailiff, please? King, the rapper?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so it's a 2-year contract to receive 8% of all monies and profits. What does that mean? It comes off of the gross?
It's gross. Totally, like the projects that he work on for King, he can get 8% total gross income of every project that he does for King.
For 2 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you embark on this project, and how many months does it take?
Probably 2.5 months.
Okay. And you were really happy with the job that was done, because he brought in all kinds of artists to you to sing with your son, and your son I'm gonna say, do you have a tape of your son?
Yes, this is my evidence is what Mr. Kelly produced. He made me very happy. I have nothing but great love for this man.
Okay.
I'm very pleased with the product that he gave me. Actually,
Well, he wants to get paid.
yeah, actually, I was hoping that if he sees that I'm not trying to fraud him, that he would come back and
Well, what ends up happening? You finish the record and what happens?
Ma'am, I finished the album. In the music industry, most of the time you deal with A&Rs from labels.
What's A&Rs?
Artist repertoire.
Okay.
That's
What's artist repertoire?
He's the guy he's the go-between between the artist and the label.
Okay.
In this particular case, when I first took the position, it was under like real bad circumstances. I believe the emails that were provided to me were from who I assume was Stephen, were telling me things such in the reference of King is in bad standing, we've frozen his budget. These things happen in the music industry. When you don't do the things that the industry expects you to do to produce
You've lost me because I still have yet to hear. Okay, stop. Did you walk into a situation where he already had a record deal? Is that what you're saying?
That's what that was the.
Did your son have a record deal?
Yes, ma'am.
Who did he have a record deal with?
Famous Universal Music Group.
Okay, and do you have that deal here?
I don't know. I don't think I brought it. I didn't.
What did you bring?
Let me see. Sorry.
Other than that fur. So, did you know who he had a record contract with? What do you mean you believe? You're the manager. How do you not know who you're emailing? What are you talking about?
Okay, it's real simple. King then approached me to manage King's career. I then told King that I needed contact information on who I'm supposed to contact at the label. King provided me with numerous emails and phone numbers.
Did you ever call somebody and talk to them?
Yes, I did, numerous times.
Who is the person you spoke to?
Most of the time, I spoke to Camille.
And who is Camille?
At the end, we spoke to Camille, who was Stephen's personal assistant.
Did you ever speak to Stephen?
One time.
Who is Stephen?
Stephen is an A&R COO of Good Music for Kanye West.
Okay, so, what did that person tell you when you talked to him?
Okay, Stephen, the very first email I received was this one, where Stephen explained to me that there was a major problem with King's contract. The relationship with the label and King's mother was rocky. It was a great relationship when King's grandmother had control, who was Blanche. Basically, the email I got back from the label told me that they were very happy. Yeah, everything has Universal on it. We'll get to that.
Well, what is it?
Basically, they're all fraud. They're all fraud.
But I don't understand. This is. What do you mean they're all frauds?
Stephen says he has no knowledge of King. Stephen also says that the contract that I emailed him with his signature on it is not his signature. That's why Stephen, after I wrote a letter to the CEO of Universal Music Group, Lucien had Stephen contact me directly. After me and Lucien and his assistant.
Okay, so somebody is posing.
Correct.
As the real Stephen.
Correct.
And then Stephen says, cease and desist contacting me because I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Wait a minute. So, but why are you suing the mother?
Basically, they brought a contract to me that was.
So you think she's in on it?
Clearly, someone's in on it.
Well, someone's in on it. But you got to prove when you come to court that she's in on it. If you want her to pay you, how much? 10 grand, she's got to be part of the fraud. What is happening with this fraud investigation? What happened?
I really don't know what happened. My son has a distribution deal. He can produce other artists, and he has a record deal that they put his music out. The contracts that I signed is not the What happened was someone got in my son's email. Anybody can hack your email. Someone's got my son's email and emailed him a new contract, not the one I signed with Universal Music Group, but one I knew nothing about. And basically, they said they would give him. They did promise him, but I never made those promises.
They did promise him what? He's not suing on some contract with some third party. He's suing on the contract with you that you said you signed.
Well, they promised him that they was going to upfront $200,000. He showed me the email.
Can I see that email? Is that this email?
It's the truth. But
Is that this email?
Yeah, it's not on that particular email.
Let me see the email she's talking about.
I believe
promise
Lori
was made to him, but I never made it.
Okay, but he's still supposed to get. What happened to the album? Because he's still supposed to get.
I received no funds from the album.
Who are you supposed to receive funds from?
Universal Music Group.
Who do you talk to in Universal Music Group?
My son signed a record deal with Famous Records, which is a small record label under Universal Music Group.
Why isn't your son here?
Because he's a child. And
I know. I
he
get
was
children
very-
here as young as 7.
He's very sad. You got to realize.
Okay, he's 16. He's a
loves-
rapper.
he loves-
He's not crawling under a table. I can talk to the guy.
I understand.
Where is he right now?
He's in California. He's very sad because this man, he loves him like an uncle. And since he hasn't been around him since he filed the lawsuit, and he's been in really deep depression. And I feel no court case, no music is worth depressing my son. And I just felt that it was the best thing I could do.
Is he in school?
Yes, ma'am.
In where?
He homeschools.
Who homeschools him?
His school, Inspire.
Right, but where? And here or there or in California?
In California, ma'am.
California.
He's on the Los Angeles County school tour where he donates his time to perform for children on their lunch break in the LA County school system.
Can I hear him a little bit? Just while I'm looking through, we have him queued? What is this?
That's his testimony. He tells you about his record deal. He details it on a radio show that's hot in Las Vegas. And she interviewed King the rapper.
All right, let's try to get to the bottom of this and what's going on. What do you, go ahead.
Ma'am, Universal denies any knowledge of those contracts. Universal has their own private detective firm inside Universal here in New York and in LA.
Investigating it.
Right.
What they
did in this particular case, because it was such a cluster, that they hired an outside firm, Ryden Security. Ryden flew here from New York to California and came to Candace's home to serve cease and desist orders. I was at home going through my email trying to find out who has my music and where is my $205,000. So I'm on the phone calling everybody, and I'm doing a whole lot of cussing and fussing. So we hung up the phone. The very next day, me and King are sitting at my kitchen table. The guy calls me up, his supervisor. The supervisor tells me.
These are the people from the real Universal.
Security that
Okay, for the
Universal
security
hired.
firm that Universal hired.
He calls me up and he says, hey, the contract that you have, that's not Steven's signature. We've checked it out. Somewhere along the line, boss, I think you've been duped. Now, you seem like a relatively decent guy.
I understand. So you already have that contract that I'm asking her for. She did give it to you. And you showed that contract to the security firm. And the
Correct.
security firm says that's a fraud.
Correct.
So why do you
It's a
think
good
she's
fraud.
in? I understand. Why do you think she's in on it then?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, is the music business honorable or shady?
Shady.
Why do you say?
Because it's somebody always trying to get to the top, so they're going to step on whoever they can to get to the top.
Why is that any different from any other profession?
Well, it always is. Everyone's trying to get to the top.
No matter what the profession?
No matter what.
Is the music business especially shady?
Yes,
Why do you say?
because they can diss anyone in any song and it will be produced on the radio and anybody can listen to it.
Never thought of it that way. It's a Taylor Swift syndrome, isn't it?
Yes.
Gotcha. Going inside the courtroom.
That sounds like she got defrauded. Like
No.
she got defrauded.
No.
Well, no, you can't just say no. Explain to me how she's not defrauded when she's handing you the contract and then it turns out the very thing she thinks she has, she doesn't have.
In 2000, the contract.
Where's the music? Is anybody playing the music somewhere out there? Like, where's the music?
Absolutely not. I put cease and desist orders on everything.
No, but was somebody playing the music?
Yeah.
Where were you hearing the music?
Spotify, iTunes,
Okay,
all
well,
digital
who
release.
sold it to Spotify, iTunes, etc.?
Exactly. So.
Stop. How did it get on Spotify and iTunes?
He's the one that put it on.
I mean, am I to believe that she put it on Spotify? Because I'm kind of not, you know what I mean? There's something at a higher level
Thank
working,
you.
but
Now-
it sounds to me like you were both duped. Why
No.
would I make her pay you?
No,
You can't just say, I know she's getting money. She's got to be getting money. Is that a real fur or fake fur?
It's real.
When'd you get that?
It was a gift from my husband, Richard.
When did he get that for you?
He bought it for me about 3 months ago, 4 months
Ooh.
ago.
Ooh, that's interesting. Are those jewels around your neck real?
No, they're costume jewelry.
And what about those hoops on your ear?
Costume jewelry.
Okay. What? No. Okay. Let me see the fur. I want to see the fur. What you got to do is you've got to get evidence, because without evidence, you're going to end up with bupkis. You have to hire an investigator, or you have to be a little more patient, let the police do the investigation. But you come in here with zero. I want to see that. Hold on a second. Yes, it is. Okay. Rapper mom. Did you get any money? You're under oath, you know that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you received any money whatsoever from this album?
From you? No, I haven't.
Has your son received any money whatsoever from this album?
Not as far as I know, no. Not
well, have you asked him?
No, it would come to me. It hasn't came to me.
Mine. Yeah. I'm going to do you a favor that you don't realize I'm doing. I'm going to dismiss this case without prejudice for you to bring it at a future time should you develop any evidence that they were in on some fraud that induced you to work on an album that you weren't going to get paid on. All right. Now, as for your counterclaim against him for $10,000, what's that about?
Actually, my daughter had some rings, and I was keeping them for her. And I let King use it, my child, to do his photo shoot.
Meaning what? He pawned them?
Stacy and King decided together to pawn them, but King is a child, so Stacy should have asked me, his parent, first.
So he's got to pay for it?
The rings ended up in a pawn shop. I said, would you please go get them out so it don't develop into a problem, because they do not belong to me. That is stealing from my daughter. That is her right. And I was holding them for her. I let my son use them. My son is a child. A child can be easily talked into anything by an adult.
Yeah.
So I am responsible for giving it to my son. My son is responsible for giving it to Stacy.
Where are the rings right this
inside the
second?
Los Angeles County pawn shop, and the police department, LA County Police Department, has a hold on $15,000 worth of diamond at the pawn shop.
Okay.
Stacy couldn't pull them out with his ID unless you give her a release for the police to do it. They told me I had to get a release from the judge.
Yeah, I got a problem
We'll work
with
that out. But as to the rest of the $10,000 for pain and suffering and all this other ridiculous stuff, no, that's not going to happen. I think he's been through plenty of pain and suffering himself. So your case is dismissed without prejudice for you to bring it back should anybody's investigation reveal actual collusion on their part. And your case against him, I am going to resolve it by issuing an order that will absolve. We'll figure it out with the police department so that it can go ahead, and we have him on under oath here saying I lay no claim to them. So we'll work that out so you can get your ring.
Thank you.
I didn't necessarily
Good
say
luck,
that.
folks.
She owes me money.
Hold on, both sides, please.
Well, the judge has just done the plaintiff a favor here. Do you realize she did you a favor?
Not really.
You didn't have any proof. That's the point. Is
Plenty of proof.
What?
I got a contract
No.
from Universal Music Group dated 2015. I took a contract in 2017.
You can't prove she got the money, though. You can't
She
prove
got
that.
it.
Whoa, you're going the wrong way. That's the wrong way.
She got it.
You think she got it?
Yeah.
Think so? Well, that's what the plaintiff thinks. I couldn't explain. Step on out here. He thinks you got the money. Maybe that's why you got the fur coat. Is that possible?
No,
you
I
are
don't have
laughing
the
here.
money. I don't have the money. I think the judge made a very fair decision. She's an excellent judge, and I'm very happy with the outcome.
I know you are. Let me ask you a quick question. He's still the manager of your son, right? For the album. And if the album does sell and make money, he's going to get his portion of it.
Yes, sir.
But there's an obvious dispute between the two of you here. He thinks you stole it from him.
I didn't steal anything from him. I'm not guilty. And he didn't have the right to take my son's music off of radio.
Well,
so that's a crime in itself.
Sounds to me like your son's career is over with him. Would that be right?
I hope not.
You don't know?
I think he was
Okay,
excellent
all right,
because
good
he's
luck.
still going to produce music.
Okay,
Thank
good luck.
you.
All right, thank you very much. Hope you get your rings back.
Thank you.
Harvey?
Okay, Doug, just so you know, the reason the judge was so interested in the defendant's fur was that she was trying to figure out if she was getting money from her son's albums.